the record Aryna Sabalenka holds, and why no one else comes close. Aryna Sabalenka is the leader of a particular statistic related to her performance in Grand Slam tournaments, once again demonstrating why the Belarusian is the player with the best performances in Grand Slam events in recent years. Beyond her 4 titles since the 2023 Australian Open, Sabalenka has been a constant name in the final rounds of practically every major in recent years. Since the beginning of 2023, in 12 main draw appearances at Grand Slams, Sabalenka has reached 8 finals, winning the title in 4 of them, as well as 3 semifinals. Her worst result was the quarterfinals of Roland Garros 2024. During this period, she has already recorded 70 wins and only 8 losses, more than any other player on the tour. However, her consistency goes back even further, as even when she was defeated, the Belarusian usually managed to take at least one set. In fact, it has been almost 6 years since the last time Sabalenka lost a match at a Grand Slam without winning a set, back at the 2020 US Open, in the second round against Victoria Azarenka, when Sabalenka was just 22 years old and had only once reached the second week of a major. And the fact is that Sabalenka's record stands at an incredible total of 113 consecutive matches winning at least one set. She has a gap of more than 100 matches over the player in second place, 4-time Grand Slam champion Naomi Osaka, who has only 12 consecutive matches since the last time she lost in straight sets. Further behind are Rybakina, 11, and Kostuk, 6. If Sabalenka's statistic already looks impressive when compared to her colleagues on the WTA Tour, it becomes even more striking when compared to the men, as she even has more than Jannik Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz combined. In fact, Sinner, who holds the record among the men with 63 consecutive matches, would still need 50 more consecutive matches winning at least one set in each of his matches. With a maximum of 7 matches in a single Grand Slam, in the case of reaching the final, Sinner would still need a couple of years before reaching a figure like Sabalenka's. Further back are Carlos Alcaraz, 32, Casper Ruud, 28, Arthur Fils, 16, and Alexander Zverev, 15. Even if any of the men were able to match Sabalenka's 113 consecutive matches winning at least one set, the record becomes even more impressive on the women's side, where matches are played as best-of-3 sets, and not best-of-5 as in men's tennis. Positive conclusions despite Australian Open final defeat. Despite the defeat in the Australian Open final, Sabalenka still has positive conclusions to take away. It was the 4th consecutive Australian Open final she has played, although for the 2nd straight year she will have to settle for being runner-up. As with her 2025 result, defeated in the final by Madison Keys, Sabalenka at least managed to defend her WTA ranking points, which keep her comfortably at number 1. And the defeat of Iga Swiatek in the quarterfinals also ended up being good news for the Belarusian, as the Pole dropped 350 ranking points, and Sabalenka extended her lead to more than 3,000 points, which mathematically guarantees that she will remain at the top during the next month, and leaves her in a strong position for what comes next in the season, without the pressure of a player who is still threatening her dominance. Sabalenka will need to mentally regroup for her next challenges during the Middle East swing, as she will travel to Qatar and the Dubai Tennis Championships, 2 tournaments that produced disappointing results in 2025 and which will serve as an opportunity for her to add points. Last year, across both tournaments, she managed just 1 win and suffered 2 defeats. Of the 16 tournaments she played in 2025, Qatar and Dubai were the only ones in which she failed to achieve at least 2 consecutive victories. Glowing star the record, 113 consecutive matches with at least one set won. Aryna Sabalenka currently holds a remarkable statistical benchmark in professional tennis, 113 consecutive matches in which she has won at least one set. Let that sink in. Over a span of nearly 6 years, Sabalenka hasn't lost a match in straight sets at a Grand Slam or WTA Tour event. The last time she was beaten in straight sets was way back at the 2020 US Open, in only her second-round appearance, long before she became a Grand Slam champion and one of the most feared players on the women's tour. This streak is staggering not just for its length, but because of how far ahead of the rest of the field it is. Naomi Osaka, a 4-time Grand Slam champion, is second on this list, but with only 12 such matches in a row. Other top players like Aryna Sabalenka and Marta Kostyuk hover even lower. To put it into perspective, Sabalenka's streak is 7 to 9 times longer than what her closest rivals have been able to achieve. That margin alone highlights a level of consistency under pressure that virtually no one else in modern tennis even comes close to matching. Tennis, what this record really means: fire dominance under pressure. Every match on the professional tour is tough, the competition is deeper, the margins are thinner, and on any surface, a momentary drop in intensity means defeat. Sabalenka's record tells us something profound. Even on her worst day, she doesn't collapse. She may lose the match, even to elite rivals, but she will almost always take a set. That speaks to superb mental resilience. In contrast, most players can be pushed out of a match completely when faced with intense pressure or adversity. Sabalenka's ability to always find something, one set, suggests a mental toughness that elevates her above not just her contemporaries but most players in tennis history. Trophy beyond the streak, other extraordinary milestones. While the 113-match streak is perhaps her most statistically startling record, Sabalenka's resume includes a host of achievements that help explain why she's such a force. Sports medal major titles and milestones. 4 Grand Slam singles titles, including back-to-back US Opens and Australian Opens. First woman since Serena Williams to defend a US Open title. One of only a few players ever to win their first 4 majors all on hard courts, a testament to dominating the sport's most competitive surfaces. Moneybag-breaking financial records. In 2025, Sabalenka broke the single-season prize money record in women's tennis, surpassing a figure that once belonged in the Guinness World Records and was set decades before. Direct hit ranking consistency. She has been world number 1 for over a year straight, marking one of the longest consecutive runs at the top of the WTA rankings this century. Light bulb: so why does no one else come close? To understand why Sabalenka's main record is so extraordinary, consider these key factors. Balance scale 1. Balance of power and consistency. Most players have cycles, peaks and valleys in their performance. They may win big titles but also get blown out early or lose in straight sets when off their game. Sabalenka, however, mixes power tennis with enough consistency that pure crashes are rare.